Hi there, it's Kanika. Get ready for another season of That's Total Mom Sense, where I interview global thought leaders on their life stories, the legacy they're passing on to their kids, and of course, their mom sense and dad sense superpower.
It's me, Bobby Brown. Can't wait to share my story.
Hey, I'm Daphne Oz.
Hi, I'm Shani Darden.
Hi, this is Chriselle Lynn.
Hi, I'm Bhavna Shyamalan.
Hi, this is Tony Leroy.
Hi, I'm Shannon Lee.
Hi, I'm Farnoosh Tarabi.
Hi, this is Michael Perry, founder of Maple, and you're listening to me on That's Total Mom Sense.
It's our mission to be inclusive, so we're having dads pull up a seat at the table. Tune in to my new monthly segment, What Matters Most with Maple, featuring my co-host, Michael Perry, tech founder and devoted father of two. Thank you to my brand partners, community, and you, yes, you, for making this podcast possible. Episodes release every Thursday. Join my tribe by logging on to thatstotalmomsense.com and subscribe wherever you listen so you never miss an episode. Do you want to know what's on my Thanksgiving table this year? It's surprisingly a lot of Indian food. Thankfully, there's a brand that I've come across that is making meal prep a hell of a lot easier for parents. It's called the Cumin Club. And today I'm joined by Ragoth Bala and Achala Kovuru to tell me all about the origin story and how we can so easily get Indian food at home and preserve our traditions for our kids for generations to come. So Ragoth and Achala, welcome to That's Total Mom Sense.
Thanks so much, Kanika. We're so excited to be here.
Thank you, Kanika.
It's the pleasure's all mine. Tell us what it was like growing up in India.
I grew up in a small town called Palani in Tamil Nadu, which is south of India, close to Bangalore. It was a small town, but with 100,000 people.
Wow.
For anyone from the US, that might be a surprise. 100,000 doesn't cut it to be a big city. It was a pilgrimage town. It was pretty much sleepy. It was the heartland of agriculture, small industries, and so on. One thing that I'm very grateful that my parents always made it a priority was to get good education for their son. And that went a long way. I was able to graduate out of the small town, go to a second-tier city for my engineering degree, moved to Bangalore, which is the most happening city in India, next only to Mumbai, some would say. Yeah, and moved to the US about 10 years ago.
What made you think, I'm really missing home? I'm missing the food that I used to eat. I have to figure out a way that I can have it here.
Absolutely. Yeah. I grew up vegetarian. About 1/3 of Indian population is vegetarian. But one thing that's interesting about India is even the other 2/3 do not eat meat on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
Meat is a delicacy. Meat is an occasion. But growing up, the everyday nutrition always comes from plants. It's the lentils, it's the grains and varagil and a few other grains like that. So moving to the US, the main thing that I struggled with is workday lunches. It is usually a caprese sandwich or a potato burger, potato patty kind of burger that gets passed along as the vegetarian option. It's come a long way in the 10 years I have been here. Vegetarian and vegan food are more commonly available in the cities, but there are still parts of the country where it's really hard to be a vegetarian. So that led me to think, what does it take to have vegetarian food made readily accessible wherever you are in this country? The Indian food landscape is primarily dominated by frozen food and the retort packing, which is a 30-year-old technology where the food is sterilized to control the bacterial growth. The frozen supply chain is extremely taxing on the environment. imagine all the frozen trucks that are going around, getting the food from one place to another. It stays frozen in the retail stores. It stays frozen in your home and so on.
Right. And you know what? Not to mention the Tetra Packs and the plastic going into that. Every single TV dinner, if you will, or eat dinner is in plastic. And it's not biodegradable.
Exactly. That's exactly what we wanted to change. We were looking to make clean label food that is not frozen. And that led us to some new technologies in the food industry, like freeze drying. Think of it as when you go to a camping store and pick up some food for your camping trip that's mostly dried, it's shelf stable, and all you have to do is just add water. Yeah. We took that same technology and applied it to everyday food that is plant-based, Indian, flavorful, and clean label. And that's how we came about starting the Cumin Club.
So tell us who your co-founders are, and we want a special intro for Achala as well. How did you build this team of yours?
In a lot of ways, my mom is the founder of the company. While I was in Chicago working 9 to 5 and going to business school from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., she noticed that my eating habits were just all over the place. She noticed that the inability to eat healthy was bothering me. As you say, moms have the mom sense, where she, all the way from India, decided to get dry roasted ingredients that are pre-mixed to the right proportions and ship it all the way to Chicago, to my home. I could come back from school at 10 p.m. and still spend just 5 minutes preparing a dinner. And at 10:15, my dinner is ready. Because she did all the work, I just had to add water. That was the aha moment that something healthy can be curated by my mom in India and consumed by me in Chicago. From there on, it was a matter of bringing the right team and the right excitement together. My co-founders are Kiru Rajagopal, who is based in India and runs all of the R&D and the food production and logistics. He has an MBA in supply chain and worked at Mondelez, where he gained a lot of experience in manufacturing food at scale. And the R&D part of it just comes from his ability to just taste the food and know exactly what's needed to change and so on. So Kiru has developed 35 recipes that we have made available in the Cumin Club today. The second co-founder, and I go a long way back, his name is Harish Vishweshwaran. We both started our careers as business analytics consultants for the world's largest retailer, who is based in Bentonville, Arkansas. We have known each other for 10 years and have tried starting multiple companies together. We're always bouncing ideas off of each other. We have very high regard for each other's work ethic and strengths and weaknesses. From there on, we were bootstrapping the company and we were moonlighting for the first 2 years of the business. And we were able to show traction in the Indian community, but also in the non-Indian community, who were starting to come to Cumin Club for their vegetarian meal fix. We went out to raise venture capital at that point. And once we were well funded, we knew the gaps that existed in the team. The best thing that has happened to the company till date is when we got Achala Kovuru to join the team, coming from big names in the CPG industry, for her to take the risk and join the startup where we are bringing her passion for Indian food and her experience in the CPG industry is a match made in heaven. I'll turn it over to Achala to introduce herself as well.
Oh, that was too kind. Thanks, Ragoth. I'll be short. So I joined the company just over 6 months ago now. So have no idea where the time has gone. But my entire career has really been focused in food and beverage. It's been a passion point for me throughout my entire career. And after I started my MBA, I was looking for meal solutions of my own. So I had an aunt that had actually seen an ad for the Cumin Club back in 2019 who screenshotted it on Instagram and DM'd me. And I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. I should try it out. I love Indian food, but now that my husband was a medical student at the time and I was doing my MBA and working full time, it seemed like a really great option for us. So we always like to say that I was one of the first customers for the Cumin Club back in the day. When we go to our emails, I can type in my name and find the email from November 2019, which I think is so fun. And then a couple of years later, I had moved to Chicago and was looking for a new role. And I knew for me coming from, Fortune 500 companies for the first decade of my career, I wanted to make a really mindful shift and really think through, what the intersection of my personal and professional passions were. And for me, it just came down to food and culture. Those two things were critical for me as I moved forward in my career. Out of nowhere, and as they say, when you manifest it, it happens. I put that out into the world and the job description came on LinkedIn 2 days later. For me to think about the foods that I grew up with and figure out how to make them accessible and approachable and educate the community around us is a really exciting challenge. And as a part of a very entrepreneurial team myself, it's the food I eat on a weekly basis. So I feel so confident when I talk about the brand that this is something that can do a lot of good to others and especially young families.
Walk us through some of the dishes. I have a little menu here. So tell us some of your signature dishes.
We specialize in 5-minute meal kits. What that means is just add water, cook for 5 minutes, and the meal is ready on your table. That comes very handy when you're working from home, when you're taking it to the office, and the busy lifestyles that we all live. It's nice to have a healthy meal that is plant-based, that's just on your table in 5 minutes. The menu covers the different regions of India. We like to say it's cuisines of India, not Indian cuisine. Different regions have different grains and different ingredients that go into the food. We took the most popular dishes from 6 different regions of India, brought in expert chefs from each of those regions, led the R&D process of figuring out how to preserve that dish without preservatives for an extended shelf life. And that's how we created our menu of 35 dishes. Some of the most common and customer popular dishes are pav bhaji, which is a medley of different vegetables in a convenient, almost soupy format. Sambar idli, for anyone who's from South India, that's their lifeblood. It is rice, lentils, vegetables coming together in a soup with the mini small idlis that go in it. We also have dal makhani, which it's different types of lentils cooked in a creamy sauce and served with flatbreads on the side. I can go on and on about every dish on the menu, but the cuminclub.com has all the information and all our favorite dishes that we are proud to bring to the table.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about the supply chain. What is that like? Where are the ingredients sourced from? And, as they're given to the chefs, what's the process of just dehydrating this food?
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, what is the shelf life of this dehydrated food now?
The supply chain starts all the way at sourcing the right spices and the right ingredients. There are a few common spices like the chili powder and the cumin, but if you dive deeper, the cumin seeds themselves are different from different regions of India. We go hyper local in where these spices are procured from in India. We bring together these ingredients and cook the food as if you cook it for consumption right away. And freeze drying is nothing but the age-old traditional technique of preserving food. Moisture is why food goes bad. When you remove all the moisture, back in the day, we used to do that by putting it in the sun, giving it a day for the food to dry. We do exactly the same using technology. We suck out all the moisture from the food so that the nutrition and the texture is left behind in the food. It's a overnight 12 hours kind of process. And at the end of that, we get an extended shelf life out of the food. The packs are delivered all across the US. Once it's delivered to the customers, they have anywhere from 2 months to 4 months to enjoy the food, hold it in the pantry, cook it one at a time, and enjoy it over 2 to 4 months, or maybe 2 to 4 days, and come back to us for more. So that's the overall supply chain.
So why did you choose the Cumin Club as the brand name?
Right. So cumin, as you said, is one of the linchpins, of Indian cooking. But what's so interesting to me is that cumin is a spice found across India, but it looks a little bit different as you go from the north to the south. The varieties of cumin differ significantly. So it's something that is so common to us all, but looks different. And that regionality is what really makes it special. Bringing that as the spice that binds the country together, but we're also able to really honor each of those, regions and those states for their, unique foods, I think was really special to us. And then club gives us a strong sense of community. Indian food for me and for you and for a lot of people is coming to the dinner table. And it's one of your earliest experiences of what community is. It's your family. The Cumin Club, it really brings both pieces of that together.
Tell us about is it a subscription service or, and the price points for these meal kits?
The cuminclub.com have all the information about our dishes and where the customers will be able to start a subscription and manage their meals on either a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Given the pantry stable nature of the food, we encourage our customers to explore the monthly subscription. If you're new to Indian food, you probably don't want to be eating it every day, but you would like to try out all the dishes once a week or twice a week. So that's why we have a weekly subscription and a monthly subscription. And the price point starts at just $4.99 per meal. I just want to, highlight this more. We wanted to make sure that the price is not the barrier to trying out the way of life, the way of food habits that 1/4 of the people in this world, Indian population, is 1.5 billion people. And that's coming from hundreds and hundreds of years of food habits. There is a way of life where plant-based nutrition can be your daily nutrition. And the $4.99 price point is intentional to make sure a lot of people can experience that lifestyle. And the meals are delivered straight to your doorsteps. There is no shipping fee whatsoever. And lastly, every meal also comes with a side dish. Indian food is a lot of curries and flatbread, or if you go to the south of India, a lot of rice-based dishes served with chutneys and sambar, all these condiments. So we make sure it's a complete meal on the table for $4.99.
And tell us about a moment that you trusted your built-in sixth sense. I refer to it as a mom sense and a dad sense, but we all have it. You don't have to be a parent
the mom sense or dad sense moment was when we brought together 50 of our friends as the beta customers. And we got very positive responses in terms of this reminds me of home. This is the best meal I've had in the last year. That was the moment when we said there is no going back. We are working in the right direction. We are bringing together an amazing team, and we will make it a reality where the world that is moving towards vegetarianism, flexitarianism, and veganism has a reliable brand and a reliable source of everyday meals in the form of the Cumin Club.
And what's next on the horizon, for the brand and the team?
We are taking all of the principles that build us up, including the ease, the convenience, the flavors of India, and we're actually launching an add-on service. So as you think about what else are you eating and snacking on throughout the day, what plays a role in your life, it's starting with things like your morning tea or your morning coffee, snacks that you're eating throughout the day. Any way that we can make it easier for you to bring these flavors into your home. So I would say look out for that. It's dropping in a couple of weeks, and we're really excited to be able to roll that out. So folks, as they're ordering their meals, can also add on their favorite beverages and their snacks. And we're hoping, that's just something that keeps growing as we think about what snacks look like in different parts of India.
And is there a quote that you live by?
Let's not forget our quote of the day.
One quote that I've just taken with me throughout my life is approach love and cooking with reckless abandon. These are two things in our culture that are just fiercely important and oftentimes tied together, which I really love.
So where can my audience find the Cumin Club and enjoy the foods and be part of this whole idea and concept that you've created for families everywhere?
You can find us at thecuminclub.com, and we're also on social media. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok. You'll get some great behind the scenes content of our team and also sneak peeks into some new product launches. We've also made a code MomSense20 for your listeners, which is really exciting. So if you guys listen to this episode and are excited to try it out, definitely go check us out. It's 20% off your first box.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that. And I know my listeners will really, really enjoy it, as will their families. This was such a treat. Thank you so much for sharing your origin story and for simplifying our lives and allowing us to embrace all things about our culture, especially our food again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. We hope everyone gets to try the food. We are always listening at hello@thecuminclub.com. Drop us an email. We would love to know more about what you think.
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Ragoth and Achala of the Cumin Club. Nirja of Nirja PR, thanks so much for making it happen. This was so fun. I think it's wonderful how they found a way for parents to simplify meal prep and the whole what's for dinner conundrum that we face every day, because their meal kits just take 10 minutes to make. You add boiling water and you're getting these fresh ingredients and flavors of India, and we're passing that on to our families. So whether you're Indian or not, you can enjoy a homemade Indian meal within minutes on the daily. Log on to thecuminclub.com and definitely use my code MOMSENSE20, MOMSENSE 20 to receive 20% off your order. And their meal kits start at just $4.99. So this is super reasonable. Follow me on Instagram at Kanika Chadda Gupta. I will be doing an IG live with the Cumin Club where we're going to be cooking and chatting and, of course, indulging and eating our lovely food. And I think it'll be super fun for you to join us, much like when you have friends visit you at home. That's the vibe we're going for. Here's wishing you a happy and healthy holiday season. Do tune in to the podcast wherever you listen as you're enjoying that relaxing time at home. You can log on to that'stotalmomsense.com/iTunes, and you'll be directed to my Apple Podcasts account. And as you click on this episode, be sure to leave a review and tell us how you liked it. You can write to me at that'stotalmomsense@gmail.com and follow me on my journey. I'm so happy to have you in my tribe. Remember, always trust your mom sense and dad sense. Stay strong, super parents, and enjoy the holiday season. Lots of love. Talk to you soon.